So, I mean, like, we're definitely living in an interesting place, and I want to get into what we want to talk about, which is global warming, and in particular, this carbon tax hustle. Man,
Yeah.
I love that we're talking about this because I watched a video from that guy from MIT, and you're like, oh my God, it is a giant scam. It is a giant scam, and I can't believe that nobody sees this. I cannot believe that nobody sees what's going on. But I want to talk to you really quick, Charlie, before we get into that, about the political space we're in. You're one of the most logical dudes I know. You are. I always like to just run ideas by you, and you're a voice of reason. You are a lighthouse in the sea of chaos. Is it business as usual in Washington, D.C. right now?
I mean, I've never seen it as crazy as it is right now. And I think I've been clear about this in interviews I've done. I'm no fan of Trump, right? I didn't like him beforehand. I just don't like that personality type, right? But it is what we're seeing from the Democrats. It's pretty embarrassing. Like their behavior has been horrendous towards him. Yeah, I know they don't like him. And also the Republicans kind of did the same thing to Obama. When Obama got in office, they blocked him. Everything he tried to do, they were like, we're not having this. And they played that game. But with Trump, it's a bit different. It's super personal, of course. And he antagonizes them. Part of the thing that I don't like Trump in most aspects, but one thing I do appreciate about him is that, first of all, he's not afraid to call out the media. And when he called CNN fake news, that was fantastic because they are fake news. In those small bits of honesty that you get from him, they're rare, but you get them. You got it when he was going up in the debate against Hillary Clinton and he just kind of said, because you'd be in jail. That was awesome.
On
When
fire.
he called CNN fake news, that was awesome because they flipped the fuck out because they knew it was true. And he's like a bull in the china shop, and he's in Washington, D.C., and he's not an establishment guy. And I remember Newt Gingrich coming out right after Trump won the election, and he said Trump's going to have problems because he's not part of the secret societies in Washington. And I was like, oh, yeah, no kidding. They're going to have a big problem with him. And then you've got Chuck Schumer saying that the intelligence agencies have 6 ways to Sunday to make your life hell and all these things. I mean, we know this to be true. This is obviously
Right.
true. But they have taken it. The Democratic side has said, if we didn't win, we're just going to take our ball and go home, and we're just going to try and wreck everything, which, if you think about it, is a pretty reprehensible way of conducting business because they're supposed to be looking out for the people that voted them into office, right? So at least half of the people out there voted for them. So for them to just try to destroy the whole economy, and you've got people like Bill Maher saying, I don't care, just take the whole economy down. That'll get rid of it.
Unbelievable.
What are we talking about here? You're talking about hurting a bunch of people that had, the most vulnerable people in society. You're going to fuck up the economy to take them down, and that'll show him. That'll show a billionaire?
Yeah.
Or 100, whatever, however much money Trump has. Who knows?
Who knows? It could be cash. He could be paper rich, cash poor. But there is something right between him and the CIA. Even if you want to go, hey Sam, it's just a theater, okay? But why would they just absolutely destroy stuff they've worked so hard to build up, like the Mockingbird media? Nobody's watching the news. My girlfriend, who just is an addict, a crack addict on MSNBC, goes, you've opened my eyes to all the bullshit. I see it right now. She watches it because she hates sports and there's nothing else on. So I come home, but it's background noise. She's not watching it like she used to. Maybe because I've screamed at her enough that she realized it doesn't. But the point is, the media's dead. Nobody's following this stuff. The DNC is dead, so their two-party system is done. And I'm a liberal, man. I'm still a registered Democrat. I won't vote for them ever again. Word is that Tulsi Gabbard is now going to call for impeachment on this, which is probably her having going, please let me into these debates. I'll do whatever you want, right? So, and now we got Trump, who lets in this Gina, whatever her name is, the CIA director. This whistleblower comes out 2 days after Jeffrey Epstein kills himself. It's just if this is theater, this is the most complex theater we've ever seen in our life. Because it's like cutting their nose to spite their face. Do you think something's going on with that?
Well, I think that Trump is in a way outing part of the CIA's dirty tricks, what they've been doing. He did it with Venezuela. He's doing it right now with what they're doing, what they're talking about with Saudi Arabia and Iran
and Ukraine and the Ukraine.
In the Ukraine, yeah, exactly. And these are all manufactured stories, of course. These are all the CIA telling the mainstream media what to say. And if they just repeat it enough, people will eventually believe it. I mean, we got talked into the wars just by repetition through the media, and the media saying, we found yellow cake uranium and blah, 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 and all these things. And they just kept hammering on it over and over, day after day after day. And finally you're going, yeah, we need to go into Iraq. And, and if somebody was to say, well, why? What did they do to us? You're like, dude, weapons of mass destruction. And you're like, yeah, but, so these were the lies they were pushing
for sure,
15 years ago. But now it's coming back again. And here you go with Venezuela over the last couple of months where they're like, Guaido is the new, he's the president. Nobody in Venezuela has even heard of this guy. They don't know who he is. And you're trying to say that he was elected president? He wasn't even on the ballot. They installed him like they always do. And then the fucking audacity of the mainstream media and the CIA to come out and say that if you question, you have to just go along. We don't interfere. How dare some other country come and interfere in our election, right? We can't interfere. How dare Russia interfere in our election? What do you think we're doing in Venezuela and Ukraine and Yemen and had done in Iran? The CIA does is meddle in people's elections. That's what they do. That's their best skill, is going in and corrupting other countries and screwing with their elections. And the media comes out and talks about how we have to be so careful about Russia interfering in our election. And what they don't realize is that they're showing themselves to have no credibility at all. It's like, we know that you're lying. We know you're lying.
Yeah.
And nobody's watching anymore because of that. What's crazy, and this just happened today, but the CNN brought on somebody to talk about how Donald Trump's impeachment hearings could go. And can we bring in somebody can we really get him impeached, and can we do this and everything? And to bring in an expert, on someone to help us, they brought in Debbie Wasserman Schultz.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
Unless they started the conversation by saying, to talk about criminality and impeachment by somebody who is a hardcore criminal and knows all their way around this sort of stuff, let's bring in Debbie Wasserman Schultz, who's a total con artist and an outed criminal. They didn't do that. No. They brought her in as an expert, telling how we're going to spot how Trump should be impeached for all the things. And I'm no fan, like I said, I'm no fan of Trump.
Dude, totally, I get it.
I want him, if you're going to get him out on like real terms. He's done a million things. Why do you have to manufacture shit to try and pin on him? Like, go after some of his like acknowledged flaws and missteps and fraud. The guy's a criminal. We know that. Why don't you just go hammer him on some of the stuff that he's already done instead of manufacturing it? But that's CNN for you. Their motto is ready, fire, aim. They don't give a shit about getting into the facts. They'll print a retraction, or maybe not in the future. They're just going to go talk about it. This is the mainstream media these days. You've got MSNBC, and they come out, they catch Brian Williams in a gigantic lie, right? Oh, yeah. I was in a helicopter that was hit by an RPG. Comes out that it is not true. What do they do?
Yeah.
They give him his own fucking show. They don't even fire him. They give him his own show. So it's like, what? So people at MSNBC and CNN are saying, it's unfair that Trump is calling us fake news. Well, what do you expect? You're supposed to fire a guy when you catch him doing this stuff. They're operating under how the United States government does with the guys, the generals during 9/11 that were in charge of NORAD and in charge of Central Command that are watching all this stuff happen and do nothing. What happens? Do they get fired? No, they get promoted. How do you know that they're in on it? They get promoted. How do you know Brian Williams is in on it? He gets his own fucking television show. This is how you know that the media isn't trying to get it right. They're just trying to continue to sell this narrative that they've built. But the narrative is very flimsy, and a lot of people are waking up to it. Hell, your girlfriend is waking up to it. She's like, maybe Rachel Maddow isn't telling me the truth. No shit. She hasn't been telling you the truth in 3 fucking years. Why is anyone why are people going to listen to her now? But this is what happens when Americans in general just kind of don't pay attention to the news because they're really busy, and they walk by a TV and they see a headline, they hear 2 seconds of it, and they go off and about their day thinking that that's the reality of the situation, when in actuality, there's far more to the story, and the people that are on your nightly news are lying to you because that's what they do.
And listen, they can't call him out on all the real shit because their boss is making money off the real shit that he's doing. Like having an international cabal agent in the White House, basically endless war, selling arms to foreign countries. That's stuff we don't like. And it's not good for the country. They can't call him out on that. They call him out on stuff like, doing a tariff against China. Guess what? They're tariffing us. Why don't they like tariffs on China? Because that's affecting whoever signs their checks. Bottom line, all these corporations and this giant scam to basically take jobs out of the United States, make everybody either poor, dumb, or a criminal, or on drugs. So either you go to jail or you join the military. That's what they want. That's their options they want for you. You got 2 options. You can either rot in jail or be a stormtrooper for the international banking cabal. And again, that is not code for Jews, okay? Because the city of London is in England, all right? That is the center of banking, all right? Yes, I've said that Israel is a business transaction, okay? That again does not it's not Jews. It is black cube of Saturn, Jesuits, the Rome, the black nobility, and the banking cabal, okay? So they don't want to go, and dude, look at all their stuff they're making money on it, which brings us to what we wanted to talk about today. There are 3 things that we can never actually touch